Hi, class. Well, I finished my paper just 5 minutes ago. What a feeling. So, what was my research question? My research question was how we can improve discipline in early childhood education. And my argument is that if we include a technique called circle practice, and biblical teachings, we can improve the development of early childhood education. Now, the circle practice, for those of you that are not aware, they are little group sessions held in a circle where you express your feelings and you will give a some sort of a prompt, and each student will answer a question or make a comment about the prompt. You start with an icebreaker. You then will go into a prompt that has something to do with a current event, a certain type of behavior, a certain topic about their feelings. So I think that the circle practices can be utilized in early childhood education. And I actually did this at my school. So we implemented, so my research project worked with students from 3 to 5. And I selected 5 students that I would work in the sessions. And then the rest of the students from the class were my control group. So the at the end of the sessions, I surveyed the teachers, and they were able to compare the two groups. Um, so the population was mainly African American. There are some Latino students as well, um, but they weren't used in this study. They weren't in the test group. They were in the control group. But the what I found that was interesting was that as I continued the the sessions, the circle sessions, the students' behavior improved. It wasn't drastic improvements because of the time constraints, but what the teachers did notice from my students working with me in the circle groups, they did notice that the students were able to better express themselves. They were more confident. They were and they behaved better than the control group. Um, I through my literary review, I learned a lot about the current state of behavior in early childhood education. Just this year, in 2019, we had a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old arrested for essentially throwing a tantrum. They were brought to a jail. They weren't charged, but it was just a very bad situation, and it made national news. Um, there are schools that are implementing zero tolerance policies, and those policies don't often underline the underlying issue of why the students are behaving the way that they are. So, what I wanted to do with my project is basically lay a foundation. Proverbs says, if you train a child the way that they should go, when they get older, they will not depart from it. And I know that a lot of you probably have heard that before, but I think it's important to really set a foundation. And through my literary review, things like mindfulness, being friendly, um, being being nice to your neighbor. All those are principles in the Bible. And our Western civilization has been structured by biblical principles, but we no longer allow direct spiritual development in a lot of public schools because of the separation of church and state. And what I'm saying is that I think we need to kind of take a step back and re-emphasize, rethink those policies, because I do think that they'll be helpful. And within some of my literature review, I also actually reviewed a book that was for basically people that are not religious, how to explain God to their children. So it was actually an interesting read because as they face this dilemma of having that conversation with their, family members, with different school members, they did notice the you know, a good outcome of the biblical teachings. They could see that it helped the students develop a sense of right and wrong, and they were the author really goes into detail on how to explain it and what tolerance actually looks like. And I really kind of delve into this field. I did a lot of research and just took a week just reviewing what was out there. So this whole process has been an interesting experience. I really enjoyed kind of bringing all the materials together, then doing the research, then actually putting in the groundwork for the analysis, and then getting the feedback from you know the things that I was doing in the circle sessions, and and then finding out what the teachers actually thought about how the students were progressing. So this has been an excellent experience. I am like beyond tired. It is actually 5:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it's not late. Um, I just been working on this diligently, and it's just been an amazing process. So next steps, I would recommend that anyone that wanted to kind of continue my work, that they would just spend more time actually working with the students. I didn't have as much time to create a detailed lesson plan based on the Young Peacemakers book that I was using to kind of plan and reach out to the parents and give people information about what I was doing. Um, so I just think that the if you increase the frequency, you'll increase the amount of time that you'll lessen the time that it will take for the students to actually show progress in the classroom. I wasn't discouraged that I didn't get immediate results from my my experience with the students, because I know that in a few sessions they're not going to be able to get everything that I taught them, but I know that I'm planting a seed, and that whether it's me that waters that seed, or it's another teacher that waters that seed, eventually it's going to grow in a wonderful plant. So thank you for looking at my video. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to go over anything else in more detail. Thank you. Bye.